Hey guys, and Merry Christmas to you all. It's been a wonderful journey, well in my eyes, I don't know about you if you enjoyed this, to the #1 spot on my list. Now I hope you're all having a Merry Christmas, or have had a Merry Christmas. I don't know when you're going to see this video, but I hope you've all had a great day, or having a great day. But before I reveal my #1 spot, I just want to go back and just refresh your minds on the last 24 videos, okay? So, number 25 we had Wolverine, number 24 was Operation Flashpoint and Red River, 23 was Grid, 22 was Mafia 2, 21 was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, number 20 was Splinter Cell Conviction, number 19 was Borderlands, number 18 was Dead Rising 2, number 17 was Dead Space, number 16 was Batman Arkham City, number 15 was Dead Island, number 14 was LA Noire, number 13 was Assassin's Creed 2, number 12 was Metro 2033, number 11 was Alan Wake, number 10 was Fear, number 9 was FIFA 13, number 8 was Hitman Absolution, number 7 was Red Dead Redemption, number 6 was Bioshock, number 5 was GTA 5, number 4 was Dishonored, number 3 was Fallout 3, and number 2 was Far Cry 3. So that was just a refresh of the last 24 countdown that we had. So now we're at number 1, and at number 1 my top Xbox 360 game of all time is, drumroll please, The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. And could it have been any other game? I mean, throughout this list I've made my love to Bethesda in many different ways, and with Fallout 3 at number 3, I couldn't have put anything else at number 1. I mean, I have put so much into the Elder Scrolls in general, not to mention how much I've put into Skyrim. I think I've put about almost 300 hours worth. I mean, that's insane, and I just didn't know where I got the time. But you know, it's one of those games where it's going to completely waste your time. It's one of those ones where if you're working, you're going to have to book a week off if you want to play this game, because seriously, you could not just sit down and play it for about 30 minutes and go, alright, I'm done, I'm going to go do something else. It was one of those games where you had to play for a couple of hours at a time, and then, you know, then you could go do something else, because you couldn't really put the controller down when playing this game. I mean, I know I couldn't. I just got obsessed with this, and I think I'm going to be truthful to you all. I actually skipped a day off, I believe it was college, if I'm not mistaken, or I think it was the last year of secondary. I'm not sure. It was either that or college. I skipped the day this game came out because I had it sent to me on the first day of its release, and I played it that day. I actually, you know, faked an illness just to play it that day. So I just wanted to be truthful there, to say that's how much I really wanted to play this game. I just couldn't be arsed going into you know, college so I could just play this game. And oh, where do I begin? Where do I begin? The gameplay was heavily improved from Oblivion. It was great. The gameplay was fluid. It still felt like you were flinging around one of those foam swords, like it wasn't a real sword. Unlike Dead Island, which has a good impact mechanic, this just felt like, you know, you were flailing a little flimsy foam sword about. So there was that. And the rest of the combat was pretty cool. You had special moves the more you leveled up. So, for example, if you put up your one-handed to about, I think it was about 70 or 50, I'm not sure, you had a move which could decapitate your opponent if it was like a critical hit. So that was cool. It was part of the kill cam set as well, because they brought in this new kill cam sort of system. So like it sort of did a cinematic sort of kill cam if you kill someone with a critical hit. So you could say if you had a shield and a sword, you would bash them with the shield and then you'd stab down on them with your sword. And if you had dual weapons, I think one of them was they went down to their knees and you did the whole I'm gonna say Anakin Skywalker in Attack of the Clone, no, in Revenge of the Sith right at the start, where he beheads Count Dooku with the two swords sort of like across him. So there was that. So kill cams were pretty cool, and then they did an update which allowed you to do kill cams with projectile weapons as well. So you had arrows and stuff, and they were really fun to see. So combat was alright. I didn't really use many spells, but when I did, they were pretty cool. Especially the fire ones. I only used sort of basic fire, ice, and then when it came to other things like conjuration, alteration, all those other ones, I didn't really use them. I sort of just used destruction magic, and that was pretty much it, even if I did use magic. And I was pretty much a sword and shield guy. I wasn't really a two-handed person or sort of magic, or I did use archery. I did use a bit of archery. That was pretty cool. It felt a lot more like real archery than it did in Oblivion. Oblivion felt really flimsy, like extremely flimsy, sort of like you were using one of those little toy bows with the little arrows that had the sticky bit at the end, sort of like plunger arrows, instead of like a real full arrow set. And so when you were using actual bows and arrows in Oblivion, it just felt like that. It was sort of like thonk. They felt too light. Whereas it felt like in Skyrim they had a lot of weight to them. So you know, you'd fire an arrow, you could feel the bow just thong, and you could see the arrow fly off into the distance, and you could hear it just smack against whatever it hit, pretty much. And it was just, everything was sort of better in terms of impact, but they still didn't have that right impact with the swords. But that was only a little minor inconvenience. So combat and stuff like that was great. The movement was improved, so like running looked a lot like you were running, jumping looked a lot like you were jumping, instead of all this weird sort of jumping up in the air and floating there for about 2 seconds before coming back down in Oblivion. So moving on from that to the world was gorgeous. It's one of the best worlds I've ever been in, one of the best open worlds, one of the best to look at, and it was just awesome. I brought up a point back in about Fallout 3 about copy and paste textures, which happened in Oblivion, but in Skyrim everything's pretty much different. You will never go into a cave that looks similar to another cave that you've been in. They all look completely different. Everything looks amazing. On the outside you see all these mountains, and again it's one of those things, can I see it? I can go to it. So if I can see it, I will be there in about 15 minutes, and I'll be staring back at where I was 15 minutes ago. And so it really sort of motivated you to explore. It really pushed you to explore this world to its most depths, to the innermost depths of it, because I think I'm still at that point where I haven't discovered every single location, and it's weird because I've been playing that game for like almost 300 hours and I haven't managed to discover every location. I'm still finding new things, I'm still finding little Easter eggs, I'm still finding all these little weird things and all these new things, and that's why it's so good to explore the world, and it's good to look at as well. Visuals are great. If you bump it up to max on the PC version, I know it looks good, but still on the 360 it's pretty darn good. Apart from visuals and the world, travelling to locations was alright. It was still had the fast travel system, but it made it a bit better. You couldn't just travel to the big cities, you still had to discover them, but you could fast travel to them by the way of horse and car. I like how they added that in. Characters were great. The dialogue, you know, it's a Bethesda game, it's a Bethesda role-playing game. They have tons and tons of dialogue in them, and they're all great, ranging from the sad, hilarious, depressing, angry, sinister, all sorts. It was just amazing. And then you had the factions. The factions were back with the Dark Brotherhood and the Companions, who were taking over the sort of the Fighters Guild. You had the Thieves Guild, stuff like that. The Mages Guild, which was the College of Winterhold. They were all amazing. There were some great storylines in them, especially the Dark Brotherhood. I mean, everyone loves the Dark Brotherhood, and I did too. And then you have the story, the main story, which was a little disappointing towards the end, but overall it was bloody fantastic. It kept me hooked right up till the end. The ending was just a little flat. It sort of just went, you've done everything, there you go. Whereas in Oblivion it was like, you've done everything, here you go for doing all of this stuff, you get all of this, and then there's more, pretty much, if you want to do so. So, Oblivion sort of had that prolonging effect after you finished, whereas Skyrim didn't. It was sort of, oh, you finally done it, well done. Bit of a clap, there you go. So that was a little disappointing, but throughout the story I was enjoying it with the dragons. The dragons were great. It was so fun to just fight these dragons, varying from different sizes to different, attacks, to different, patterns and stuff. It was so fun to engage in combat with something this epic. And some of them even had some legendary statuses, so legendary dragons, some were named as well, so it was very fun, and it was just this interesting, fun little story that I wouldn't say was better than... I think it was better in terms of the gameplay and everything connected with the story, meaning it was better than Oblivion, but I think Oblivion just had that better feel, it had that better end, and Skyrim didn't. Skyrim sort of just went up and up and up and up and up and up, and then just sort of went, But apart from the ending of the story, the rest of it was good. I will say side quests were good. Some of them were brilliant, some of them were very fun. DLC was great. I've been playing the Hearthfire and the, can I think of it, Dragonborn DLC again, and they are very good. Yeah, the Hearthfire DLC allows you to build your own little house, and that's fun. Still getting used to it, getting used to all the little new things they included in that. But Dragonborn, and I believe it was called Dawnguard, the first DLC, those two were really good. They were really fun DLC, adding some new features like crossbows and stuff into it, and the Vampire Lord. And then you had the werewolf thing, to coincide with the vampire thing, but the werewolf perk was way before that. It was in the main game alongside the companions, so if you join the companions, you'd become a werewolf soon after, and that was very fun. I really enjoyed playing as the companions and being a werewolf. They really did that well. Little Easter eggs and stuff were fun. Daedric quests were back, they were really fun, especially Sheogorath. Everyone loves Sheogorath if you are an Elder Scrolls fan, because he is just hilarious. He's like the Mad God or something, and he's just a funny character. What else? Character creation was a lot better. It was some of the best character creation I've seen. I mean, you had stuff that should have been in Oblivion but wasn't, like beards and stuff like the faces. Faces looked a lot better as well with the new engine and stuff like that. Faces looked a lot better. The Khajiit looked like cats, like actual cats instead of just sort of cat people. Argonians definitely look like lizards, and so on and so forth. And gosh, there's just lots I could talk about in this game. Weapons varied from the amazing to the hilarious. Some of them were pretty epic, some of them looked really good. Armour looked really good. All sorts of the items in the game looked really good. You had this aspect where if you were in the inventory, you could sort of zoom in on them and sort of like look at each individual item close up and just inspect it. And it just looked, the level of detail, by God, is amazing. I mean, Bethesda go into such detail with all of their games. I mean, that's why it takes them like 5 years to create a game, and you know, I don't blame them if they make games like this more often. It's just something else to talk about. I will say the soundtrack was good. The music was very good. Especially everyone knows the main theme of Skyrim. It's just a really fun track to get you pumped up for battle. And then, you know, it switched about. It wasn't sort of like the same. Oblivion sort of like rehashed its music over and over again, sort of like the copy and paste with the textures. But Oblivion had, Skyrim, had varying degrees of music for even like the same battle. So if it was a battle, you had different music, sort of different battle music each time. And if you were sort of sneaking, you had sort of the ambient music happening in the background, and if you were in a tavern, you'd have tavern music. And it was just really fitting. It was very immersive. It's one of the most immersive games I have ever played. You really felt like you were in this world, like you were the Dragonborn. You were going into the different places. You were, you know, traversing the landscape. You were interacting with people, and you were just being part of this world. I felt like I was part of Skyrim, and I know it sounds cheesy and corny and a bit nerdy, but you know, what's a game without immersion? If games didn't have immersion like they do nowadays, some of them just wouldn't, you know, do well. Because people like immersion. That's what games are starting to become, is that like this sort of 100% immersive experience. And immersion is a huge deal to me. I love to be fully involved with my game to the point where I feel like I am this guy. I am this person. I want to do all these things. You know, with all the choices you get in Skyrim and stuff like that, you know, I wanted to be the good, courageous Dragonborn. So do with that what you will. I know it sounds nerdy and stuff like that. Other stuff sounds... I know I said I'm not too good on sound design, but Skyrim had some of the best sound design to the length of which I can review. It was good. The ambience was good. It was very good. If you went into a cave, it sort of felt very echoey and very hollow for some caves, and you could hear water dripping from different places and stuff like that. You could hear people talking in the distance, and it just felt like a world. There was life. There was pretty much everything felt how it needed to feel, and it just made Skyrim an ultimate awesome game. And what else? I need to talk about some more because there's lots more to talk about, and it's my number one. The shouts were good, the Dragonborn shouts, and the perks it gave you as the Dragonborn, and stuff like that. They were very good, very fun to use, you know, Fusro Dart and stuff like that. I don't really think I have anything else to talk about for Skyrim. I've pretty much gone into every single little depth I can. You had side things, shopping and stuff, all of this sort of stuff. You had training, blah de blah. You had horses, blah de blah. You could ride dragons in the DLC, blah de blah. And that's it. Overall, Skyrim is the greatest Xbox 360 game I have ever played. It was just freaking amazing. So I want to thank you all for joining me on this journey to this #1 spot. I hope, as I've said before in the start of the video, you've all had a wonderful Christmas or are having a wonderful Christmas. And before I go, I want to tell you that Carry On Plays has done this alongside me. He's been doing a countdown. His #1 is being released today, and I want you to go check that out. Like, favourite, and subscribe to him. You know, he does some great stuff, especially with his top 25. He's had some interesting choices. I feel I've had some interesting choices. We've had quite a contrast between our two countdowns. And so, apart from that, just want to say again, thank you for joining me on this. Thank you for watching the video. And just, thank you for a great year. I hope you've all had a great 2013, and I wish you well for the new year. Okay, ta-ra.